Cool, cool. All right. Hold, please. Okay, real quick. Check something. It's Wednesday. Alright, I have nothing tonight. Okay. Cool. Here we go. Alright, so there's a couple things I need to do. So I definitely need to work on some leaderboard stuff. Also, I have myself doubled there. Also, was considering talking about something like this right here, introducing the Roblox Learn experience, which is actually quite interesting to me. Roblox has created an experience that you can go into, and it acts kind of like if you've ever looked at any Unreal Engine like asset packages or anything. Kind of works similar to that. Turn those on. And it's like you can walk through and you have like the scrollable, this is how this is made, and then, you know, it's you got portals you can go into to different experiences that, or different places that are aspects of certain things that they've covered on their YouTube channel, which has actually been kind of killing it lately. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get into coding now. So we are refactoring our, like, here's the deal. So first of all, we're not actually doing this one. Go ahead and out my commission one. If you have seen the past couple live streams, as far as the coding live streams go, I apologize if you have been following those as like learning experiences. I mean, there's certain things that I was doing right, but I also realized I was doing a lot of wrong things, and like I've just been exhausted lately. There's, in fact, I think today, after a 2-hour nap that I took in the afternoon. Is this not? Okay. I ended up with 4 hours of sleep today, so sleep is always just kind of a an issue for me, or at least it has been lately. And I do not code well when I sleep, or am sleep deprived. I do have a good bit of caffeine in me right now, though, so. Also, I am aware of the mistakes I've made, so I can definitely try and fix that. So for one thing, right, we are, I mean, there's some simple things as well, like cloning an instance and then parenting it immediately. Like, parenting should be the last thing you do after you've set any sort of properties for it. So you should always have that down there. Otherwise, other things that are wrong, we'll go ahead and fix this on all of these actually. There we go. Yeah, weekly rolls as well. Don't need that open. The other thing is that we want to separate this actually from the server and put it into the client. Now we could still save We could still save some functionality or some coding because these are module scripts now. However, they are currently located in server script service, and they're not using a modular framework in the game that this is for. So I think it's actually going to be better just to make a local script that handles the receiving of the event to update the leaderboard display. Quite simply, I think it's really going to be just this function anyways. I'm going to see if I can actually find, because they're supposed to have added me, okay, to the group, so we'll see if that's the case or not. Experiences, group experiences. I am not part of that group yet, so I guess not. It's not just shared with me, no, okay. So never mind, then we will have to wait on that. So we're still kind of trapped in the same situation as far as, yeah, testing things is gonna be a little limited. Also, another thing I forgot was to set up these guys here. I think all-time roles podium. Let's call this one, well actually this one should be, hold on. That's what I get for not paying attention already. Alright, so we'll do that. There it is. Top roles rig, huh? Let's just rename these to rig. And then this one's all time. This one is now weekly. And then we need another one for right here for donations. I'm gonna go move this one over here and rotate it around a little bit. Something like that. Okay, so aside from that, we need to actually assign the avatar to that as well. That will also be done on the client, so we can handle that. All right, let's go ahead and start moving this stuff around. We were working on the leaderboard handler, which is basically getting the data store that's going to be able to get. It's the long-term persistent memory for the leaderboards, for the leaderboard data. And then we are going to be doing memory store service inside of each of these, which I have pulled up here so I can look through as well. We're going to do get sorted map, essentially. Turns a memory store sorted map instance for the provided name. Name is global within the game, so any place that uses the same name accesses the same sorted map, which is really cool. I am kind of curious like how they do that, because it's they can't do it with data stores, like regular data stores. They have limitations and whatnot. I think it's because the data is smaller. You have smaller data limitations on the memory store service. I don't know, that'd be something to look into at some point, but not right now. Okay, so in our case, we're still going to have data store prefix. I'm actually going to rename this to memory store now. Memory store prefix. Unable to find, what are you talking about? It's clearly right here. All right, we're going to go ahead and control F that. We are going to make sure we're matched completely, and we're going to say memory store prefix like so. Replace all. Okay, much easier. Also, another thing I've noticed while I was watching one of my streams is that when I'm tired, I look at my keyboard a lot to type, which is hilarious to me. But so you'll probably see me doing that now too, because I am still tired. It's gonna be that way for a little while, until I can actually catch up on sleep. I was supposed to do that tonight, but then I was like, well, I had an energy drink. It's been a few hours now, but it's a significant energy drink, and caffeine halftime is like 6 hours anyways. Halftime's not the right word for that either. It is what it is. All right, so with this now, what we want to do is so this one's specific because this is the weekly one, and we do still want to do it based on weekly. And ideally these names will match up with the... No, I remember. So our main data store, we're actually going to be storing a table with the different leaderboards data in it. That way we can keep them separate and we can pull them out as needed. So then we do have to get that information into here, and that's going to be fine because rather than essentially having an ordered data store for this, we're going to use it as a parameter, as an argument into wherever we need it. Again, we're not going to actually have all this in here, but for example, this, right? This get sorted async is going to return pages. No, yeah, the data store pages object. So then we would just feed the pages object wherever we need it. So what do we really need? We have a lot of repeated code between the modules, which is also bad, or it's just bad practice. The derive principle, don't repeat yourself, right? And I'm almost thinking like we could probably handle it all with this. Another problem is I didn't actually plan this out. I just started going, and that's usually not at all how I do things, so that's also a fun thing. Alright, and I feel like every time I've thought about it, I've been like, yeah, no, I have a plan for it, and then I sit down to actually code it, and I find something else, and I'm like, that doesn't feel good either. Alright, so let's do this, though. Let's go ahead and pull up starter player scripts, and let's add a local script for leaderboard handler, say client. We're probably going to want to grab this and only store it in here because it doesn't really matter. The server's not going to care about the model or anything like that. In which case, we're going to do this instead. Not that. It's gonna mess things up. We can't do that yet. Hold on. We're gonna name this folder and then we can place this in here. In fact, we're also gonna place this in here. So it's gonna be a child of this. And then we can go ahead and rename this to init. And that's going to go ahead and set it. Yeah. Okay, so we can see that up here. Now I have client leaderboard handler and leaderboard type there. Cool. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and just open that up there so we can see it. We'll worry about that another time. All right, so we can go side by side here. What we're going to do is, I know that I want the leaderboard type. It's interesting, like it doesn't understand if it's a child that it is that. The script.leaderboard type. Now we have that. We'll go ahead and just simplify the type here. Leaderboard type dot leaderboard model, like that. Okay. So the other thing. Turn on strict mode for us. We do want to config. Big table's always nice, especially for the debug purposes. We'll set this to true for now so we know we're doing things correctly. Is there anything else that we need? Like what all is used in our update leaderboard display? Let's actually go ahead and grab this and just copy it into here, and that will help tell us as well. Okay, so we have clear leaderboard display is also a function we're going to want in here. Pretty straightforward. So our log function, of course. In this case, we're going to real simply be able to just say client leaderboard handler. Do this. And then that's good. We need the holder. We also need all the colors, so we'll grab those. Right, we need an event. Probably just called update leaderboard. I don't think we can call memory store service from the client, or can we? Limits and quotas on the service. Let's see here. Just looking at the documentation. I don't think that's going to tell me if I can use this. Blah, blah, blah. Data usage quotas, memory stores, eviction policy based on expiration time, also known as time to live. Sure. Memory size quota. Let me try something. Up here, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do game dot memory service, right? Memory store service. So I actually saved that. It's not yelling at me. Let's see if I can find something real quick here. You know what? Maybe ChatGPT will be able to tell us real easy too. Let's see. Also I can pop this in here. Let's see here. I imagine it's just like data store service. You need to access it from the server. I would be surprised that it would be able to be accessed, because then you'd be able to change data, and that's not typically what it wants. So it can only be accessed by the server. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's see here. Like, it's kind of strange they don't just explicitly call that out in here somewhere, though. You know what I mean? Alright. Anyways, so I can just go back up to here, because that's going to erase anything that I did differently in the studio, so that's fine. Okay, so, yeah, so we just want to fire all clients, essentially. So how do we want to handle, like, the leaderboard object? Because in the workspace, they're not in a folder. We're going to actually change that then. All right, and group these as a folder. Call this Leaderboards. I always want to make it 2 words, because technically it is, but not in Roblox for whatever reason. Because then we can just find leaderboards, right? Or better yet, we can grab the podiums and put them in their own folder, subfolder in here as well. Did that wrong, hold on. Podium. Is it Control G? Control Alt G. And we will just call this podiums. Okay, there. So now we can get children of leaderboards and just ignore the folder. Pretty easy. So let's get in our config file. we will do leaderboard objects. Set this to be a table. I don't think that's how we want to do that. We still want the leaderboard object. And we'll probably set this to a function then. In which case, let's go ahead and bring these down here. Now we'll just set this to an empty table so it's not going to yell at us. And then in here, we'll go ahead and do another function. Get leaderboard. Yeah. Capitalize that. Leaderboard object. And we are going to objects actually. This is going to return a table of leaderboard models, just like that. Cool. All right, so we're gonna say for each child in workspace, find first child. Actually, we should do this separately. Leaderboard folder. It's this, and it's leaderboards. If not, leaderboard folder. Then we can just return out of here. Or also do this. So make sure that we've got our prefix on this. Okay, this is much longer now, so we're gonna go ahead and break that out here. Actually, we'll just Control S. It's probably gonna fix that for us. Get rid of this, just clear that up. There we go. Of course, a little cleaner if we have it like this, or I could also, I guess, zoom out a little bit. It's gonna be a little harder for people to see though. Oh cool, nobody's even able to see it because I wasn't in the right screen. Aha, here we go. Okay, so just kind of go over what I did here. So we have function here, get leaderboard object for returning a table of leaderboard models. And we are getting the folder. We're using assert here. What assert does is it checks if this value is true. It's just like a condition in an if statement. So if the value exists, it comes back true in this particular case. Obviously, if find first child does not find leaderboards in workspace, it will return nil. And by returning nil, just remembered I have ads now, and I wonder if those are recorded as well. But I also need to make sure that I'm checking things too. Right. I have an ad starting in like 5 minutes, 40 something seconds. But I've been on for 30 minutes, so I'd imagine that it's doing whatever it's doing. I will have to watch this back and see if the ads get recorded on the VOD as well, though. I don't think they do. We'll see. For subscribers, don't get ads. So if you don't want ads, subscribe. Working on subscriber benefits. Aside from, I do have already subscriber Discord channels, both voice and chat channels that are private to subscribers only. Subscribers, and eventually if I get to have members on YouTube, then that'll be for them as well. All right. Gotta turn my fan on because I don't have AC in here. Okay, so anyways, what assert does, so yeah, it checks if that's true, or basically if it's not, returning nil for the most part in this case. And if it does return nil, then we throw an error, and it should act just like an actual error there. I don't know if we have to explicitly return here. I don't think we do yet. In which case, yeah, I guess this whole thing, I just do it like that, yeah. I can't remember if assert automatically returns or not. Let me try it real quick. We're not really gonna be able to do that. We've broken things right now. Okay, so we'll leave it like that for now. But then, no, that's incorrect. That's definitely going to return. It's just like an error. Okay, so anyways, if it doesn't return nil here, then it's going to actually return the value to wherever assert's being called. So in other words, this will actually get that value there. So now we can come in here and we can say, not for, if, no, that's right, for, I am so backwards on this, for his child, in leaderboard folder, do. And now we can say if child is a model, then we're going to do something. We're actually getting a few layers deep here, so I'm actually going to do this. If it is not a model, then we'll continue. And then we can come down here and just continue doing this. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we need to have a table for this to store in. So we're going to go and do, let's say leaderboards, the table, which will be this table of leaderboard models. Or nil? No, it's going to be a table regardless, so actually this should be like that. Because an assert's not treated like a return, where it's not going to return a value, so it's not going to return nil in that case. The function just errors out, I believe. Don't quote me on that, because my track record right now is not great. Okay, so let's go ahead and do now leaderboards. Index child.name is the child. And then we'll go ahead and return leaderboards. Now, we'll do that. Now this should know that it is a table of leaderboards whenever we get it. So now we can go ahead and start to figure out, based on which leaderboard we're updating. I'll say board name, which is a string. And we'll do, where's the holder specifically? Main surface GUI holder. Okay. Is going to be config.leaderboard object index board name. What's wrong with that? Type error, type string cannot be converted into number. Correct. That is correct, yeah. Should be like that. Table of string leaderboard model. But why is this not liking that? Could not be converted into table of just the leaderboard. Yeah, it's not supposed to. I clearly have it being... Oh, because I didn't actually... Couldn't copy this. Save ourselves a little bit of typing at least. There we go. So now that's good. Now that's good. Okay. So that, and then we actually need to first check. If not, config dot leaderboard object index board name. Then we'll return. Could also assert there as well, I suppose. Or we can just do log. Let's do it with this. Guess I just got over an ad recently. Okay. I really need to pay more attention to that. Should probably move this somewhere more to the center of my screen where I can keep an eye on it. I might have to do that next time. It's gonna be 27 minutes for the next ad, so I guess that's fine. It's new to me, having ads run on my stream, so we'll figure it out eventually. So what are we doing? We're saying that the leaderboard object board name not found in leaderboards folder, something like that. That is a failure, so we're going to go ahead and say true to make that a warning. And that works for that. All right, then we can go ahead and do the holder here once this is done, and we'll say dot main dot surface GUI main dot surface GUI dot holder. There we are. What's wrong with this? Value of type could be no. It's literally what I just checked for here. You jackass. Alright, let's see. Sometimes it doesn't like when you do it like this versus like this. So I think what we'll do, I'll say leaderboard object is this. And then we're checking if it's not that. We're going to say leaderboard object, and then down here, leaderboard object. Now it fits Folder is highlighted because its shadow is a global variable used on line 116. That's because we haven't set it in there as well. So essentially we're doing a very similar thing here. In which case, if we're calling this from in here, we might as well do this. We're just using holder. And that's it. So we can actually just pass the holder in here. Which is a kind of a pain. I guess I can export this too then. Just say holder is a, we could also go ahead and make a shorter type for this. What is it? Leaderboard template. Leaderboard type. Template entry, that's what it was. So we'll do template entry. And then down here, we can say that this is a, once again, scrolling frame. And table with the template entry. Is exactly what this is. Yes, okay. And then we don't need this anymore. This will clear that out as we need. So here now, it's going to be a string. And our pages object, we can pass the holder in here. All right, so far so good as far as this conversion goes. So our leaderboard entry, so this guy. Our format number is broken. So we'll actually just do this. That will automatically import everything we need for that. What else is broken? Player service. Template entry. All right, so that's its own thing here. Say that that is a template entry, or we don't have to do our no there. Alright, and that is clearing up a lot of stuff for us. All of it, as a matter of fact. So we have the update clear functions, and I think those are really all that we need to do that. So now the question becomes, like, how often do we fire all clients? Yeah, do we make that sort of a network call every 10 seconds? That doesn't seem ideal. At the same time, that's still fine. They also sent me something. It was a picture of another board they have that actually has like the timer text at the bottom of it. So I might actually want to do that as well. Just have to figure out like where I would put it. I mean, we could put it, put it here, right? Call this timer. Timer base. Guess we'll just do another surface GUI. Control O. What was it? Alto? Yeah. Okay, so the front face is backwards. So we want to have this be on the back face. There we go. And then text label. Basically just center up real quick here. Let's remove the background. Drink some water. And then call this timer. And this is let's see. Guess we can just say like resetting in seconds. That's probably too much. Just say resetting in. Don't know like what they're using. As far as their, I know they're using the 3D text, but I don't know if they're using any specific font there. I guess that can be changed really easily too. Maybe that looks correct. Put a stroke on it. Again, that can be changed later. That's not something that's not really my job. Alright, so let's go and capture that as well. Essentially, whenever we update the leaderboard, that should reset the timer. So let's go ahead and do no, this isn't my first game. This is actually a commission, well, technically it's a commission job for someone else's game, but I'm also getting this was a decision after I started working on this. I'm also getting 25% of that game. So technically, I guess this would be my game as well. But it's I don't know. I appreciate it though, because you know I'm completely sleep deprived all the time. Like my last few streams have just been like error after error of doing things the wrong way, and it's really upsetting me because I normally pride myself on how good my code is. And like they were pointing things out that were wrong today, and I looked at it and I was like, God, you're right, yeah. And then I looked at it again and was like, oh, I'm also doing this. They didn't even catch certain things. I was like, that's fine. I planned on going in and fixing it now anyway, so at least we caught it. They don't need it until this this weekend for an update, so that's fine. I should be able to get through them pretty quick though. So what do we want to do? We want to get our timers. We have the leaderboard object, and then we can get leaderboard model as the model, which is kind of confusing name-wise. I guess it's not entirely. Let's do local, let's say timer. Is going to be leaderboard object, which we get up at the top there, and then we're going to go ahead and say find first child for leaderboard. This needs to be a string. Leaderboard model. Find first child, timer base. Fine, I know you're gonna yell at me. Let's actually just do an assert here, make this easy. What am I doing? I'm getting the name, right? Yeah, I'm getting the board name. Let me close this one down. It's just getting in the way anyways. Then I can actually make this larger, so a little easier for people to see as well. Alright, so we can just do leader, is it board name? Yeah. And then we also want to use our prefix as well. Oops. And we'll let Stylua format that for us. Then we can say timer is model find first child timer base. And then local, so we'll say that's timer base. And then local timer itself is if timer base, then if timer base, and we're just using Lua here, vanilla Lua instead of Lua on this one. So in other words, we don't need the if timer base and timer base find first child for surface GUI. This will be a surface GUI it's the wrong one, ampersand, thank you, and text label. Or no, technically. So then we say if timer, then task.spawn, and we're gonna say for I equals 10. Just say 1. What's wrong with me? For I equals 10 to 0, subtracting by 1 each time, decrementing u. Timer dot text label, which we didn't actually label. In fact, it's just the same thing, so like so. Timer dot text label dot text equals no, I need gsub here. String dot gsub. It's going to be timer dot text label dot text and then we are substituting this with I. So we need to string. I think that'll work. I tried using cursor tabs so I don't have to think so much when I need to type. Yes, I have, and I don't want to rot my brain. Everybody who's doing that stuff is literally rotting their brain. They've actually done studies on it now, and if you're using it frequently, especially even for simple things, you're going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to do simple things anymore. And if the AI does the simple thing incorrectly, you're not even going to be able to pick out that it did it incorrectly, and you're going to struggle a lot. So no, I like keeping my brain sharp by using AI as little as possible to generate code, at least in this circumstance. I've been considering doing some testing with limits of pushing AI to essentially vibe code, but not fully, to actually just create some software and yeah, see what I can push out of it at that point, see where its limits are essentially. But otherwise, yeah, when it comes to actually writing code, I'd much rather do it myself. Because the fact is, there's also the whole situation of like, you get to a point where you just start accepting what's given you, and your brain starts thinking differently about that, as opposed to, is that correct? What's the best way of doing this? Because the other thing to consider is that all of those LLM models are trained on open source projects. And if you're talking Python or JavaScript or TypeScript or Rust even, C++, like all these other languages that are more widely used, it's probably going to get decent results. If you're talking about Luau, not just Lua, but Luau, specifically Roblox's version of Lua, there's very few open source projects on that for it to pull from, at least that are actually good, and therefore you're not even getting like a good average, you're getting like the sub average because people don't really use that. So Claude's usually an exception to certain rules, especially. I mean, they're usually like, whenever they come out with an update, they're like pretty far ahead of everybody else most of the time. However, I have used Claude exclusively trying to test to see which model is best at Luau, and Claude was actually the worst. I had a lot of trouble with Claude. Now that was the previous version, not version 4. I haven't tested it since they've launched version 4, but so far in my research, Gemini 2.5 is actually the best with Luau. So OpenAI, yeah, many of them are. The fact is they're not supposed to be able to be trained on other data unless you give them that data. So even when you say Claude isn't trained on open source, like it is, it has access to GitHub, and it has seen that code, so it knows that exists. That's part of its original training data, whether they want to admit to it or not. Like it would be silly for it to not be, just because it is really a good place to get, like, if you want to learn how to code, like, look at all the code. Stack Overflow is probably another one for that, but anyways, pretty sure this should work here. Also, I need to test out, wait for 1 second. So it counts down every 1 second there. And then at the end of that, it should get another signal to update, which should then come down here and trigger this again, and starts it back up at 10. I could also... CO says our code is enterprise first, and Claude Code is built for internal devs mainly. Yeah, I mean, it's still... regardless of what the code is meant for, especially when it comes to like enterprise code, like you're able to make deals with companies to get access to their code repositories, their code base, to train off of that, but a lot of companies aren't going to want to do that, which is why open source projects are just the easiest no-brainer. And again, it was probably how they initially trained their earlier models, whereas their later models, they're just building off of that and doing better anyways. So it is what it is. AI is an interesting topic, but it's just not there yet for replacing me wanting to actually code. Fact is, I enjoy coding too. We have an ad starting in a minute, so we'll be back. In the meantime, I'm just going to create some timer constants here. What was it? We need this this event. I have my network module, but that's not how that's gonna work. All right. It's the first ad break I've actually saw in the corner of my eye. I'll get better at that. So I need to do an event for this. Why are these separated like this? I guess we're doing this. Just leaderboard. And another folder for events. Ideally, I would actually be using my network module and stuff anyways. So. Alright, a remote event called update leaderboard. So we are going to get access to that now. Do that right up here. Use RM just to denote it's a remote event, because that's another thing that they do in their game, so might as well continue that along. This is going to be replicated storage, assets, leaderboard, and now I can wait for child. Update leaderboard. I guess, do I need to probably need to change this one to wait for child actually. No, because that's just a folder, and folders are pretty instantaneously replicated. It's just everything within them. Which would be here. So I could just include a simple task.wait for like 3 seconds, I guess, and then update that. The game has a loading screen as well, so whenever I finally get access to that, I'll probably just look into the loading screen and see if it's firing off an event for like game loaded situation, because then I can just connect into that and then call this, but that is what it is for now. All right, so we have our update leaderboard remote event. So down here, we're gonna go ahead and do update leaderboard remote event. Client event. We are going to connect our update leaderboard display. I don't think there's anything else we need to do for that for now. See if we can even test it just because we still don't have access to everything. The other thing I need to do is update the avatar stuff. We have to get user thumbnail async here. Say first place avatar, that sounds fine. We're getting the player, right? We're getting the user ID, so that works. It's a string. It doesn't have to be a string. I can definitely just use 2-number user ID like I am here. Let's see. What is the way to do this? Because I haven't done this in forever now. Just go to player service here. Get player ban async. It's definitely not a get character appearance info. Don't think that's correct. Turns information about a player's avatar, ignoring gear in the Roblox website. Which actually loads the assets described by this method. This function returns a model containing the asset which the player is wearing. The assets which the player is wearing, excluding gear. Well, let me see here, because well, there's an avatar getter I know somewhere. Let me to get it, needs an user ID. Yeah, get character appearance async method. That is exactly it. Oh, wasn't on that. That's alright. Okay, so for this, we have the user ID. I will also need How are these rigs built out, actually? Okay, well they have like all the stuff that they don't need. So the question is like, are we able to just replace it, or like how does that work? Get character appearance async is actually deprecated. This function returns a model containing blah blah blah. If you prefer a luau table of information about these assets instead of in model use, get character appearance info async. This method behaves similar to insert service load asset and is like using load asset on the asset information returned by. Get the appearance info except faster. Sorry, I'm not in the right window for this. So it's also given me actual code example here. So get the user ID, just get their character appearance, and then just parent it. Okay, so let me try this then. Let's just do game.players get character appearance async. So why is this deprecated though? They usually tell you and it's not telling me. Not a fan of using deprecated functions. This one's not deprecated. This is just information about it, but then you would have to do, like they said, with the slower way of doing that. I don't think that's what we want. So the user ID... grab my user ID. Again, I'll come up here and do this. My player ID. Alright, let's go ahead and do local avatar, I guess. Equals that. And then avatar dot parent to the workspace. Where is it? Why can't I see it? Okay, so that's still just the information, and it's just the stuff you're wearing. So if I were to, say, take this position here, sorry, this position here, and set that there. No. Also, this is an R6 game. I guess I should fix that too. Alright, so let me do this instead then. Leaderboards, podiums, we'll do the donation podium. Rig. Okay, so it's in him. It's this. So confused as to how this works. Give me a second, I got a cat locked in here. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. So, I mean, that can't be right. It's creating a character model, essentially. Just gonna figure this out here. I'm gonna get rid of this for now. Let's do. Get the descendants. Like we're not getting the actual model. Like we're not getting the parts of the model, which is stupid. Get character appearance async. Returns a model containing the assets which the player is wearing. What is it? Equipped. Humanoid description does what? Get a humanoid description from user ID. Turns a humanoid description which specifies everything equipped for the avatar for the user specified by the past and user ID. Also includes scale and body colors. That's pretty much the same thing. It says it creates a humanoid model. Do this. This is their code here. Okay, that's the one we want then. Fascinating. This is getting the R15. I see, because we have the humanoid rig type R15. So if we do R6, I delete this. We do this again. The R6 model. Okay, that's the one we want. All right, so try and remember to switch my views here. All right, so we need to get the players, we have the user ID. We need to get like which model to replace, essentially. Like we could really like slim down the models on this. I'm just clearing a bunch of stuff. Actually show you essentially. I just cleared like all the extra fluff that's in the rig itself. And then as far as like it being an appearance here, so it uses the head as its primary part. Have its position. If I could just do this, right? Oops. Get rid of this one. Oh, right, I left the face on these. Oops. I miss one? Yeah, right here. Okay, so we actually don't need that one. We're instead going to copy and paste into here, and then grab this one's position. Like so. Get rid of that. Alright, so now depending on the board, so we have our board name is this, right? And I think the easiest way to do this is to actually just go ahead and name these the same. Because we already have it distinguishing between podiums because we got them in the different folders there. Top donations, weekly. Okay. So then we can just go by board name there. So, so we will also go ahead and use the board name. All right, so in here, let's go ahead and get the correct podium first. So we'll say local podium folder, and we will go ahead and assert this is going to be workspace dot leaderboards, sorry. Find first child. Podiums. Oh, yeah, we do need that. Podium, or sorry, let's do our... Let's go here. Let's make sure that we're still... It's a string interpolation there, and then we'll go and do... Podiums folder not found within leaderboards. Expand that out, a little formatting there. Okay, so now we can say podium is going to be our podium folder, find first child, board name. If podium, then rig position is going to be podium. Let's just do podium.rig. At this point, I think we got it right. Dot origin, or just dot position. No. Primary parts. Position. This is a vector 3. 3, not 2. 3, not 2. Alright, and then we can go ahead and do our local player avatar is players get humanoid description from user ID using the user ID. And that says that this should return a model, right? Hold on, we just do from description first. No, sorry, what was it? Get a humanoid model from description. Create humanoid model from description. There we are. I got it eventually. Players. Create humanoid model from description. There we are. The description itself is going to be players get humanoid description from user ID, using the user ID, and then the rig type is enum.humanoid rig type R6 in this case. And then we'll say player avatar dot primary part dot position is going to be rig position, and then player avatar dot parent is going to be podium. I think we can just put it in the podium itself. Podium folder itself. For the model. That's what it is actually. That works for me. Let's go ahead and give this a name as well. Player avatar dot name is first position. So we can find that and remove it, which we will need to do if the user ID is different. So in fact, let's actually do string user ID. And what we can do and not podium find first child. Don't do that. User ID. So we're only updating it if the user ID is different. In which case, the very first thing we're going to want to do is delete that. So we'll say podium index string. I could also just index user ID, I guess. Let's do this. Current avatar. Oops. That is going to be a model. Or no. Not current avatar. Did my YouTube just crash? Currently don't have an active public live stream on YouTube. Interesting. Everything else says it should be fine. So that's kind of strange. Jeez, okay. So nobody's telling me that I'm like doing all this work and not able to view it because I wasn't paying attention. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so now then, if podium and not current avatar, then we're going to go and do current avatar destroy. Wait. No, sorry. That's getting the current avatar, and then we're checking if the current avatar dot name is user ID, or I guess toString user ID. What's wrong with this? Oh, I'm an idiot. Don't need that. Probably don't need that either. Yes, I do. Alright, fine. let's do this. Yeah, current avatar and current avatar. Do this now. So name is that, then just return. Otherwise, if podium and current avatar, then current avatar destroy. There we go. So then we clear the current avatar and we set a new avatar for it. Makes sense. Hey, what's up? I don't know how long ago your... Yeah, the combined one should be good, but it's seemingly failing here. Let me check that real quick. Why is chat from YouTube not showing up in there though? Okay, well, I'm gonna refresh that stream super quick here. Hold on. Yeah, sure enough. That appears to not be working. I don't know why I'm typing that. Yeah, I don't know why the so down here it's supposed to be a combined chat, but the YouTube has failed for some reason. So I have to have that up in a different window, I guess, for now. A little annoying. In fact, I'm just gonna pop out this chat then. Toss it somewhere I can read it when chats come in. Unfortunately, your guys' chats won't show up on the stream for now. Sorry. Unless I, you know, like, bring it over here like this, I guess. Such a hacky way to do it, but that works. It's not gonna work because I don't think I can make this stay on top either. Yeah, damn. Could add a source for it super quick, but it's not that big a deal. Yeah, I've had it in the past, and like it came to a point where it was like I don't use it often enough to have it. And I had reset my computer at some point. I was like, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, ideally, this would work. It was working earlier. So that's a thing. I just need to, I mean, you can see it kicked the bucket here at some point. So we'll figure that out at some point in the future as well. Okay, updating first place avatar. So we need to go in here now and say if rank number 1, cool, we can just go ahead and do this then. Update first place avatar, the board name, and why don't we have user ID available to us? All right, I have to queue number user ID. No, what is wrong with this? Working on importing UI right now. I have barely used Figma for UI. I know everybody really loves it. I also find like a lot of people that do that don't make their resolution high enough. And then it imports in the Roblox and it looks like trash. I end up doing all my stuff in Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator. Although my Photoshop install got messed up so bad on this computer that I can't even open it. And even if I uninstall it and reinstall it, so there's something in my registry keys that's all messed up, and rather than just doing that, there's other issues I've come across too, and I just need to refresh my computer. So you can use Photopea. It is also completely free and is very, very close to using Photoshop. Show you. I mean, I guess like I can entirely I can entirely ignore this whole section. Like it doesn't, I'm always working over here anyways. So like I just never see this, honestly. Because otherwise, like while my Photoshop has been down, I've been using Photopea, and like I use it for a lot of stuff. Used it for a lot of like thumbnail stuff too, including, let's see if I can find this. Yeah, I had a game that I was playing where I was basically playing a mutant potato. Yeah, you heard that right. So it became this. I did this in Photopea. Basically he had just a pair of feet because you put boots on him, but he had like no other limbs or anything, and then like he had a hand, and like that was it. So like I had a little thumb in there and everything. I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, okay. And then I ended up adding more limbs to him as well, because he mutated and he ended up growing an extra pair of feet. So then he had extra feet. What I did in there, so. Yeah, it was from, because originally, this was the original picture I had, which was like extra derpy, and I actually really loved it. And so did other people, and I kind of wish that I would have just kept going that style too, but pixel art's just easier to do. So but yeah, it was oh, what game was that? That was actually I might have the no Elin, E-L-I-N, that's what it is. It's a really fun game though. So anyways. I do love doing UI work though. That's like my favorite thing for sure. Do we have this in the right order? We do. Saying the user ID could be nil. Checking for that here. You jerk. Come on now. God, if you're gonna be that annoying about it, I'll just do this and then say, if not user ID, then return. Why not? That should clear that out. And it doesn't. Right. That technically clears that out, but I don't know. It's so stupid though. If I need help, say your name. Yeah, no, that's no problem. I probably will just because I'm so sleep deprived, and as I've said on like all my other live streams lately, with like my 3 hours of sleep, I have 4 hours of sleep today. But I code bad when I'm tired, and I need to stop doing it. I need to just take time off and sleep, but it's easier said than done. Okay, so this should ideally cover the client side stuff. So now we just need to make sure when we're doing this that we are passing in the board name and the pages for our event. Fire all clients. In fact, let me add that up here. What was it? Leaderboard, update leaderboards. Fire all clients with the board name. Actually, we'll make sure we have that as the variable. The board name string and pages, which is like an ordered data store pages. Oh, it's just pages. Okay. Okay, so that works. That way I can remember to do that when we get to it. Okay, so also switching to this, like this is a really cool, I'm using Meld Studio now instead of OBS, which it's getting there. Meld Studio, like every time I use it, just gets there a little bit more and more over time. But I keep going back to OBS because OBS is already there. But Meld has the, unlike Streamlabs or like having to get an extra plugin for OBS, like it has the dual and the multi-streaming like built into it already. But also like it has stuff built into it like this, like you can just sit there and switch stuff around super easy and like smooth and fluid like that, which makes me kind of happy. I like that. So I'm trying to, however, it doesn't have, they for whatever reason took away hotkeys for switching scenes, or they never added it or something. They only have it for if you have an Elgato Stream Deck, which I don't, and I'll probably get one at some point, but it was pretty annoying because like 4 months ago or something, they said, yep, we know that's a need and we're working on it, this and that. And like even just up to a few days ago, someone was like, hey, this is like a really like big, easy feature that you should have in by now. Why is it taking so long? I think their last response was like 14 days ago. So anyways. Alright, so let's go into here and at least push this up so I don't lose it if I don't want to here. Git add, this is source, starter, player scripts. Is this in source as well? No. It's just the leaderboard. Client. Leaderboard handler, yeah. Right. Add that, and then also the leaderboard type. Alright. Go ahead and commit this. Typing. That's incorrect. Alright, so this is added client side leaderboard. That's the incorrect way to do that for a commit message. Add client side leaderboard handler and moved leaderboard model type to be a child of it. Something like that. That's fine. It is what it is. Go and push that. Okay, so close that down for now and close that for now. All right, so we're not updating the leaderboard or clearing the leaderboard for any of our server-side scripts now, which is ideal. Refresh leaderboard is going to be moved into the leaderboard handler. We're no longer using this. No longer using this. No longer using either of these. Don't need the template or the holder. Cleaning these up pretty significantly by doing this. An ad is starting in 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and snooze it because for 5 minutes anyways. Because I just want to keep pushing through, and then I'll probably have to get off here pretty soon so I can try to go get some sleep and actually do this without making mistakes. Alright, so we need to have... So we're not really going to be calling refresh leaderboard on here anymore. Yes, maybe we will. Okay, so in here then, when we get pages, now we can do... We need to get our remote event. So we'll hop up here and do that. I don't know that I need this either. Do not. No more of that. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and do updates. Update leaderboard. And this is going to be replicated storage dot assets dot leaderboard dot event Yeah. See, my typing gets worse too. Events. Find first child. Leaderboard. Oh man, I didn't include like any logs in my client script to verify that's working. I mean, there are some in there automatically from the other functions, but still. I'm going to do that real quick. No, that's not the one. Client, leaderboard, or what's that? Okay, let's do update first place avatar. Actually, no, we want this to be down here. So updating avatar for podium. We'll say podium avatar for leaderboard. Why is this not treating this as... I just used single quotes instead of backticks? I sure did. Board name. There we go. Not make me use to string there. Alright. Anyways. Yeah, and then the rest of it should actually be fine. Okay. Ad is starting again here soon. A little less than 5 minutes. That's fine. Alright, so let's just add that there. I'm also going to go ahead and do that. Still push. Alright. Let's do the thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do leaderboard. What was that? Update leaderboard remote event. Fire all clients. And we are firing the board name, which I'll clean these up later, but Ideally though, let's get rid of this global leaderboard underscore here. So we can use the data store key. Config dot data store key and then the pages. Alright, yeah, because we're going to be doing stuff there. Refresh leaderboard is now the... That's the client side one, right? No, that's still that'd be this one, so... That's also one. So we're essentially moving a bunch of this functionality into the handler for leaderboards, the server script there. So I think this is pretty straightforward for this one. So now it's just a matter of kind of moving these calls in. Get data store is getting that data store and it's setting this value, which is what we want. This is not going to be an ordered data store anymore though, because we are using a memory service. So let's do that. Memory store service. Get ordered, get sorted map. Right, I thought we had updated that on another one, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, nice, it still has it there. And then also on this one. Okay, let's see then, what else do we have? Thought that I did this already, I guess not. So this is the all-time roles one. This is now a, what's this return? Memory store sorted map. I guess YouTube's not getting advertisements though, so that's interesting. Anyways, so let's go ahead and do just like Twitch is on an ad for like the next few seconds here. All right. Get sorted. To be clear about things. So local success pages. Gonna call leaderboard memory store. So now that is not the thing. Let's check what is. Get sorted map. Turns a memory store sorted map. Here we can just get async. Get range async. That actually sounds like that might be what we want. Get items within a sorted range of keys and sort keys. Takes direction of ascending or descending. Count number of items to retrieve. 10. Exclusive lower bound, so this is pretty much the same sort of thing we have here. How does it know? Get items within a sorted range of keys and sort keys. Does it know which keys to do? I guess it's just key value. Okay, that's gonna be a little different then. Item keys, values, and sort keys in the requested range, right? Forgot about that. Okay, so if we're doing key value or no, sort key or no. So we have a key value, and a sort key. If we set, so let's come down to our set here and update player roles, our set async. Argument count mismatch, yeah. That's 4 to 5 arguments. Only 3 are provided. Of course, it's a method, so it's calling itself. So the key is the user ID. The value is the roles in this case. The expiration for this, let's do 45 minutes. It's in seconds. What's 45 minutes in seconds? 45 times 60, right? 2700. Actually, I'm not gonna hard code that. Put that in our config here. We're also gonna update every 10 seconds now. We hard coded that into the client side. Might have to pass that value as well. I don't know, it's going to be coded into each one of them like this. Maybe it won't matter. Alright, so this is the expiration. So let's go ahead and do... I'm actually going to leave that. I'm just going to say... memory expiration. Seconds, and this will be 2700. How long before the memory store? Items expire if not updated. essentially. Because the thing is, like, we'll be updating it, but if, you know, for whatever reason it doesn't update, server's down for a while, whatever, it'll clear itself out. And then we have the actual data store keeping our persistent data anyways. That's the idea. And again, wasn't in the right screen. Cool. Okay, so memory expiration seconds now. Let's jump down to here. Somewhere here. We have our big memory expiration seconds, and then we need the sort key. This is optional. Sort key to set for this key. Accepted types are number or a string. This would also be the roles, right? So the more roles we want to be at the top. So we would want descending then, so we're going to change this to true. But this doesn't get sorted async anymore. When we said this was get range async. Get range async. Why is that? What's this here? Type boolean cannot be converted into enum sort direction. Why? You have an enum for sort direction and not... Oh, I can do it from value. I don't think I can do it that way, actually. Alright, so we want descending order. So we have highest to lowest. They delete their API for getting headshot thumbnail of a player. No, it's client. So I was using it here as well. Get user thumbnail async. Oh, well. Let's see. Come on, internet, being slow. No, don't do that. Like which API era, which which URL were you using? It does seem that none of those are working. It looks like a lot of them haven't been updated since 2023, honestly, so. Yeah, I mean, if you break it up, like if you break the URL up, it should let you send it. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to let you. Like, I don't even know if it'll let me see it. I don't have moderation activities on, so maybe. Or you could send it on the Discord as well, but... Oh, well, this might actually be, just realized I'm not even on the right screen again, sorry. This might be, something to look at then. Sunsettingapi.roblox.com back in 2023, so. They, deprecated it and no longer reachable. All new traffic must switch to newer endpoints on the APIs or individual APIs like Avatar, games, etc. So if you're using the other one, damn cat. Barricade my door because she can open doors and it's dumb for a cat. So yeah, they changed them over apparently. Let's see if they say anything on here like this will no longer be reachable. You have to use the individual APIs. APIs.roblox.com. Different from API. And their replacement endpoints that we recommend switching over to. I have Discord open. What the hell's wrong with me? Yeah, I wonder... Have you tried other user IDs? I can try mine in there. No, that's not it. I'm an idiot. I need to... Terrible formatted way here. There we go. I wonder... Yeah, I don't know how they would have changed it. We can also search in here and see. So I would think, let's get ownership, user, can manage assets, miscellaneous, online status, accounts, etc. Let's see, thumbnail. Wait, I think they had an update recently, just like the past couple days. Thumbnail personalization now remembers your existing winning thumbnails. Okay, no, this is just for experiences. I see. So like I thought I remember seeing something about thumbnail somewhere, and that was that instead. So yeah, I don't know. We can try. Is it this? No. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can kind of play around with it, but I don't even know where to go to find where they would have done anything with that, so. because they didn't mention it anywhere in here that I've seen. And I only ever really have a reason to get it from in the game, so it is what it is. Or from within the engine. Alright, so plus they do have other APIs you can tie into for that, I think. But, back over to here. Alright, so I think this is pretty well set up for getting our information. Setting our information. Wait, no, we can also, okay, we're setting the, yeah, we're setting that there, so that works fine. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't be more help. I haven't had any need or time to play around with any of that at this point. Like, I know that when I started doing this, even like they had changed some things about accessing, because I used to go through and access stuff for keeping my own logs essentially, but they changed that at some point too. I am also tired and need to go. I do kind of want to at least get rid of the red I have over here and see what I can do with that, but I think it's all just the, yeah, it's all just the calling this stuff, so I think we're good. It's on profile update and then refresh leaderboard, I think are really the only things I have to care about. So we'll call it there for now. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm gonna try to get some actual sleep tonight. Operative word is try there, for sure. What's up? Should you sign the SKG initiative? Oh, derp, I didn't even see you around, man. I'm so, like, focused on stuff. Should you sign the SKG initiative? Realize, like, I can't click on this without... That's stupid. Anyways. I mean, that's up to you, if you feel like... If it affects you. Yeah, we had... Like, games used to be on physical copies, and you used to just either have to find an emulator to run it if it was no longer supported by, like, a newer version of Windows or something, right? Like, we'd use DOSBox for, like, old games. And then, you know, as things have kind of become digital, and especially, like, connected or live service in any way, it's obviously become a thing where people are like, why do this? I look at something like City of Heroes as like a champion sort of thing. Star Wars Galaxies as well, to an extent. Like, those are now community run. In fact, City of Heroes was kept up unofficially by the community for so long. It's an MMO. You get to play a hero or villain and have superpowers and stuff and go around the city and do all this stuff. And they kept updating it and everything and just unofficially supporting it for years and years. And not too long ago, the company that actually owns that IP went in and said, here, you can have the rights to this. Like, we'll actually essentially make it open source for you. So that they actually essentially are in full control of the game without, like, you know, before it was like if they came back and said, hey, we want you to shut this down, they would have to legally shut it down. Now they don't have to, because they gave them that right to do that. I think that's really the way to go, is like, yeah, stop killing the games. Just, if the community wants to support it, let them support it. You lose really nothing. The only thing I could see is they want to make sure they have full control, so that if it does turn around and start being a profitable entity again, like, they want to be the ones to have that. So it's either like only we can have it or nobody can have it, sort of thing. It's a dumb mindset. It's a corporate mindset for sure, which is unfortunately where a lot of the games industry has gone. It's corporate mindsets. So I think it's a cool initiative though. It definitely is deserved for some games. Otherwise, new games are always coming out, right? I have a massive Steam library of games that I haven't played, and Epic Games library of games that I haven't played. Probably Good Old Games library of games I haven't played. I was actually, one of the things I was thinking about doing too was, even with Roblox, like just covering updates and stuff. Like this Roblox Learn experience is kind of a cool thing they've done. I wouldn't mind hopping in there and seeing how it looks, seeing how it works. It's coming from Unreal Engine, like it seems very similar to whenever they do, like typically. Let's see if I go to Epic Games. What is this? Try this. Because like this Epic Games, they have essentially like a hallway. It's gone so fast. I was gonna say, I don't know what's happening, but it's... see what's going on. Everything still says it's good, so I don't know. Like, I'm green across the board on my side of things, so I don't know why. This is like the second time. YouTube had an issue earlier too, so I don't know. Alright, it's fab now. But yeah, they would have something similar where you'd basically walk down this hallway and you'd be able to see like demonstrations of the system itself. And they'd have a very similar situation with the text that you would basically read to learn about it and how it works and how to implement it and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see that them taking that route there. And I feel like they just keep piggybacking off of what Unreal Engine is doing a lot of times, because Unreal Engine changed their user input stuff a little while ago, but to a much better way, and then Roblox changed their user input stuff to a much better way. So it kind of makes sense, right? Alright, I do need to get my free stuff this bye week here as well. But like if I go in and I find game systems, right? Is my internet just being trash right now? It still says like it should be good. In fact, I can click over here and see. I mean, they're low bit rates, but they're still connected. YouTube especially, I don't know why its bitrate is so low. Might have to drop to 720p. I do that while I'm live? No. Could also drop my frame rate to 30 FPS. I'm not gaming right now. We don't need 60 FPS for coding. Let's see if I can find